What is going on, guys? I am Carrick, that is Tarek, and we are about to go see some Huntsman Winter's War for the FFT review. Guys, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I know nothing about this movie other than it's a prequel to Snow White
and the Huntsman.
The Huntsman, yeah. No Thor's in it.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Emily Blount, I think her name is.
I don't know anyone else.
From Edge of Tomorrow. The girl from Mad Max, Fury Road. Furiosa is in it. And
she's hot.
Yeah. And Nick Frost is also in it. I like him. He's in Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, it is a pretty good cast. As far as we know about the movie.
Yeah, the only reason I know this movie was even being made was because I saw a trailer for it in theaters, and then I looked up movie dates to do for these review series, and I'm like, oh, I saw a trailer for that. We can go see it. So this will be like the first movie that we're going in totally blind for.
Well, kind of my second, because I didn't really know much about the Jungle Book when we saw it.
I mean, that was just stupid. I'm hoping it's a good popcorn flick. Like, I'm not expecting it to be amazing or anything. I'm going in with pretty low expectations because I don't know what to expect. But I'm hoping it's something that I'll walk away from
like that was a good time, you know?
Yeah, that was a good time. What are you most looking forward to in this movie, Tarek?
Since I don't really know much about this movie, there's not much to look forward to, but like you said earlier, I just hope it's a good time. And
I don't know if I've even seen Snow White and the Huntsman. If I did, I couldn't tell you anything about it.
I've never seen it,
so yeah, this will be totally blind. Hopefully you don't have to have knowledge of that movie.
Yeah, to get this movie.
Yeah, because I think it is a prequel, so it's not really dependent. I'm hoping this movie stands on its own. I haven't looked up any reviews for it, so I don't know if it's going to be good or bad.
I did.
You did? So Tarek will know. Yeah. I told him not to say anything to me, though.
I won't say anything.
I'm going to be totally honest, though. I don't think I've seen a movie with Chris Hemsworth I've liked other than Thor. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, Red Dawn was an awful movie.
It was garbage.
That's the only thing I've seen him in, was Thor and Red Dawn.
I couldn't tell you what else I've seen him in. I'm so excited for Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah. That's next year, isn't it?
It's so far away. That's why that movie better be fucking amazing. And this movie better be at least good if he's going to be filming this instead of Civil War.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's really nothing else we have to say. We don't know what to expect, really.
I got nothing. Well, Cedric Nicholas Troyan, you did it.
You did it all right. You made a movie.
Yeah, he made a movie. I mean, just got back from seeing Huntsman, Winter's War.
Oh, what did we watch? I feel like a lot of people really liked this movie, that were in the theater with us.
Yeah.
And we ruined it for them.
Except for that one dude, at the end, who was still sitting there, just he had his war face on.
His war face?
Yeah.
Show me your war face. I don't want to say it was bad, it's entertaining, but it's
it has some interesting moments.
It's entertaining for the wrong reasons. When it tries to be funny, it's it doesn't work, but then when it's trying to
be serious, it's funny. It's like an M. Night Shyamalan film.
There's so much reminiscent of M. Night Shyamalan in this film, which we'll talk about in a bit. I think this movie looked pretty gorgeous.
Yeah, starting off with some things we did like. The scenery and everything else did look really nice, really beautiful.
And for the first 5 or 10 minutes, I was into this movie. I thought it was cool. If you like Frozen, if your daughter likes Frozen, and you're coming to see this movie thinking oh, I want to see Elsa, I want to see Anna. This isn't your movie. This is straight Snow Queen as PG-13 as it gets.
Yeah.
Like,
I actually thought this movie was like rated R, but
nope.
no.
You're exposed to all the PG-13 sex your parents will let you watch.
Pretty much. No blood or pretty much anything. Nobody dies in the movie.
Yeah, nobody fucking dies.
Like, they make you think that
Somebody's gonna die.
Yeah.
And then they don't die. then they almost die again. And then they don't die.
Like, in the beginning, first off, using Liam Neeson narration, that's bonus points.
Was it Liam Neeson?
I think it was. Like, it sounded like him.
I thought the narration was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is pretty the only way we got exposition to
Yeah.
find out this was a prequel and a sequel, apparently. We haven't seen the
Snow White.
Snow
and
White,
Huntsman.
but
Yeah.
I have a good feeling that this takes place after, like, later in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then the rest of the movie happened, and it became a joke. You know what? One thing I will never forget in this movie,
What?
when the little kid is chopping like that
Yeah.
thing, and then he
So-
swings, and then suddenly he's like 30 years
Years
older,
old,
and
yeah.
you're just like, what the fuck happened to you?
It's just did like some time jump and like
Like, it wasn't even a time jump. It didn't even say like 30 years later. He literally swings,
Swings
and when his axe
as a
hits
kid.
it, his face just instantly changes
Changes.
to 30 years older, like Chris Hemsworth.
it's like, well, that just happened.
Meredith's in this movie. Meredith from Brave. The
Oh
archer.
yeah, the archer.
Yeah,
I've never-
her name's Sarah, but it's fucking Meredith. It's fucking Meredith. I'm not making this up. Chris Hemsworth, he fucking takes a stick and he hits somebody, and it's obviously 4 feet away from like hitting him, and the guy falls over anyways. And
Yeah, it's-
it's just bad. And like, keep in mind, Chris Hemsworth is doing a Scottish accent, and it sounds like he is Sylvester Stallone with Parkinson's disease.
I'd say that's pretty good. Yeah.
Trying to do a fat bastard impersonation. It's awful. And every time he talks, I could not take him seriously.
It just sounded. Ugh.
He sounded stupid. You could change your fate, would ya? Oh, if you could change your fate, would ya? And you want to know something else that's fucking hilarious? Our Scottish accents are better than any accent in this movie. They don't even speak like they're from fairy tales. They speak like they're trying to, but they just don't understand what fairy tale language sounds like.
And they're both pretty bad, but
I mean, Chris Hemsworth especially is just awful. Like, I haven't seen an accent that bad in a long time. Everything just happens in this movie. There's no flow at all. All this movie is betrayal and not dying.
and of course love. I mean,
Yeah, but the love in this movie does not exist. It's phoned in as hell. No bonding moments between most of these characters. You're just expected to roll with their chemistry. And that's the only way you can watch this movie, is to roll with everything that happens. When you try to take this movie seriously, you're gonna have an awful time. Tarek and I had a great time with this movie.
yeah. I mean, like we said earlier at the beginning, it was entertaining.
It was
at least.
entertaining, like, for the wrong reasons, mind you, and it doesn't get a pass for that, but at least it wasn't boring. I think this movie clocked in almost 2 hours long, maybe something like that. It went by pretty fast because we were having a good time. Not because the movie was good, but because it was
made.
it was made. It wasn't great. There are scenes that you will laugh at. But in the end, I'm going to give this movie a 6.
I think I'm with you on there. I'd probably give it a 6.
All right, with a consensus score of a 6 out of 10. You know what this movie is? This movie is an ugly orgasm. The sort of orgasm you would not deny having in bed, nor would you deny watching this movie.
Looking at me.
Yeah, I forgot what to say. Let me see some of these reviews. Because
Okay.
Tarek saw these reviews before we came into the movie.
Okay, so
Start with, like, Rotten Tomatoes. I'm curious to see what this has.
okay. Last I saw, the Rotten Tomato score for Huntsman Winter's War, it was a 17%.
A fucking 17?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I don't think so either.
17.
I was thinking like around 40.
Yeah, I'd give it around a 40%. I feel like the audience score is going to be around a 60.
I don't know what the audience score is. I'm going to look that up, actually.
It might not even be, we saw this movie early to release.
It has 96% want to see it, but a 17% from critics.
Ouch.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad, guys.
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
it's not great. Don't expect this movie to stand on its own at all. Go into it with the right mindset and lowered expectations, and you will have a good time. It's definitely a popcorn flick. With that, I am the Psychedelic Mystic with my buddy Tarek, and we will see you next time on FFT. Peace. I thought the beginning was really interesting, how the Snow Queen, before she was the Snow Queen, had her heart broken by having her child killed.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned her heart cold, which gave her her powers. And that was really cool. And I thought that was beautifully executed. I took some notes, like just some of the dialogue in this movie.
Yeah.
You want to read them off?
I'm going to read them off. Okay. Let's start with the first one. It's almost day.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth, what was his name?
In the movie?
Yeah, I don't even remember. Was it
Eric, I think?
Eric. It was Eric. Eric and Sarah fall in love, which are forbidden in the Snow King's kingdom.
It's against the Jedi Order, man.
It's against the Jedi Order because she had her heart broken, so therefore nobody else can love anyone.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. There was one guy, we busted out laughing at a specific scene that we won't talk about right now. And I look over, and he's just fucking staring at us with like the most hatred in his eyes. Like, we're sorry we ruined your perfect movie, because we were just busting out laughing.
It was funny.
And it was trying to be serious. It was like that scene in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 when Gwen Stacy's
falling and
then
she hits her head like.
It's like, it should be emotional, but I laugh every time.
It's funny. I mean,
so they fall in love, and they're in like a jacuzzi made by nature, like a hot spring or something, even though it's fucking winter wonderland with her powers. Whatever, you're just gonna accept most of what's in this movie. They're fucking in there with PG-13 sex, and she says in the most unenthusiastic way, "It's almost day."
And then this is the scene where Eric and Sarah, that's her name, they're like in that little pool or whatever, in the jacuzzi or something. You do love me, don't you?
You do love me, don't you?
And like,
this is after they've only had like 2 or 3 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, like
you're just supposed to accept their chemistry, and there's none.
Pretty much. Like, I mean, you could argue that they grew up together, but they don't show it.
No,
at all.
Literally, they spend like a minute as children, and then they're adults.
One of my favorites right here. Made the lass's eyes wet. Maybe something else.
Yeah, so pretty much what happens in that entire fight scene, she builds up this snow wall that divides Sarah and Eric.
Right.
And it's like one-way mirrors, or not one-way mirrors, but pretty much they can see through the ice, but it shows something else on both ends. Eric sees Sarah getting killed, and he thinks that Sarah is dead. And then like 30 minutes later, she saves his life, and she reveals, "Oh, I thought you abandoned me." And then from there, it's like the most unnecessary relationship conflict, because there's no reason for her
to think that he would leave her like that.
Yeah,
like,
still has the fucking medal that she gave him.
Yeah, and he waits like 20 minutes to show her, and then when he finally does, like, oh,
you're like, yeah, I
love you again.
Yeah, you could have showed her that 20 minutes ago, but whatever. It's only the thing she trusted you with.
Yeah.
So that line was when... This is part when it's the sequel, not the prequel, because it's both a prequel and a sequel, if you get me. Snow White's kingdom has already been expanded, and Ravenna has been defeated by Snow White. and I guess Chris Hemsworth's character and Snow White are banging, and Sarah finds out and says, quote, "I bet you made the lasses eyes wet. Maybe something else." And I looked at Tarek and I was crying because it's so like, this movie is sexual, but it's like the kind of sexual you're not gonna understand if you're with your parents, and if you do, it's you're just gonna sit there in your seat just like awkward as fuck. Before Sarah is reunited, we're introduced to two dwarves who are easily the best part of this movie.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Fucking Nick Frost and some other actors.
I don't remember the other actor's name.
No one does. They're the comic relief of this film. And then later on, they meet two women dwarfs. And I looked at Tarek and I said, there's 3 guys and 3 girls. It's like they were meant to be. It's like the scriptwriters knew, okay, we have to be really PC about this guy. So we have to have everything end well, and for them to fall in love in the most phoned in way and forced way. Oh, we don't need development. We just need them to get together in the end. That's all that matters, because that's what'll get the kids excited for, you know, this movie and happy that they saw it. So they're looking for this mirror that's supposed to have this power, like this evil power that the Snow Queen wants, so she can be unstoppable. Why? I don't know. The movie doesn't bother giving an explanation. I'm going to assume it's something from the first movie that's explained better. We didn't see it, so don't look at us for answers. If I were to guess, there is no answers in the other film either. But they're looking for this fucking mirror, and they get trapped by a trap set up the 2 female dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Hemsworth is like, we're looking for a mirror. And she says, or the main one says, I haven't got a mirror. And the dwarf says, yeah, that's obvious. And I'm like, how the rest of the century, if you ask me.
Right. And then, okay, the next scene, this is probably my favorite right here. So Nick Frost and this other dwarf girl, who's not really important, but anyway, she's like, can I offer you some water? And he's like,
yes. And
He's
then
like,
the
yes.
guy's like,
he's like,
don't, no, away with you.
Like, oh no, away with you. And then like later in the movie, they're like on this boat or whatever.
Yeah, they're like canoeing or, you know, rowing down a stream.
And he's just like, I would have drinking your water. You seem thirsty. He's like, oh, I get thirsty when it's hot or when I run. Me too. Or when I eat something salty like roast chicken.
And you're just like, what? And that's like most of the dialogue. You're just like, okay.
Yeah, like,
you know, hot dogs get a pretty bad rep. Like, it's that kind of dialogue. You're just like, where did the hell did this come from?
it's like they just don't speak like humans. Like,
So it turns out that Sarah betrays Eric.
right.
And so the Snow Queen comes with her army, and then she makes Sarah kill Eric.
Right. Because
nobody dies in this movie.
pretty much they teased us with Sarah earlier.
Yeah.
And then, so Sarah gets like her bow and arrow ready, fires, aims, it hits Eric. It's like,
And that's where we fucking lost it. Like, it was such like an emotional moment, and everyone's like, and Tarek and I just busted out laughing in front of everyone. And that's what I was talking about. The guy was staring at me like, we ruined this movie for him, and I felt so bad, but it was so bad.
it was just, I don't know, it just looks so weird. It's just
It's like it slowed, like everything slowed down, but then it picked up right away and he fell to the ground. It was just, it was stupid.
I haven't laughed that hard at like a death scene that was supposed to be emotional since like with Gandhi, where he's just like bam bam. It's like, oh god, oh god.
Yeah, when she saves him from the pub with the dwarves,
Yeah.
like she shoots an arrow, and she makes it clear like I'd never miss. So the Snow Queen gets her fucking mirror, and then in the snow castle, Chris Hemsworth's character, you know, isn't dead. It's revealed he's not dead. The dwarves are happy, and then they plan to go to her fucking castle and steal the mirror or destroy it or something. Like, the Snow Queen goes to the mirror and says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And wouldn't you know, it's her sister. Oh my God. Ravina! I feel like this would have been such a shock if we've seen the other movie, but we haven't, and we were like, okay.
Yeah.
She pretty much becomes Ravina's bitch. And Ravina takes control of her Huntsman. And then the fucking ending of the movie happens.
Like,
He shot him where the medallion was protecting his heart.
and she never misses.
Never misses.
Like, they obviously defeat her. I think the Snow Queen, or whatever her name is, the Snow Queen, like, I think she does die because she gets stabbed through, but...
But what happens, Chris Hemsworth has a crossbow and he's ready to shoot the Snow Queen. He shoots and you hear pshh, and then Ravina catches it and she's like, "I have missed you." And I can only assume that they've had conflicts in the other movies, so I didn't write it off as a plot hole, but tell me if it's a plot hole.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck she knows Eric, because there's no reason for her to know Eric if you're just watching this movie alone. So when they're about to be executed, Eric's best friend raises up his sword like he's gonna kill him, and he slashes down and he cuts the chains, and then they bro it out, and then all the huntsmen unite to take on Ravina and the Snow Queen. Ravina just starts using her tentacles and, you know, like just piercing people, and I think those people might have died.
I don't know.
Probably not. Like,
I don't know. Like, at the end, they were all like cheering and all happy, and we saw a lot of them. So probably not.
but she's, you know, using her tentacle things to pierce people, and the Snow Queen's like, "No!" And she uses her powers and makes a snow wall. A snow wall. And it's revealed that Ravina planned the Snow Queen's baby's death by, like, whispering, you know, messages to kill to the fucking husband of the Snow Queen. And that's what turned her cold. What a twist. Even though you see that coming a mile away.
Yeah, after they show her,
Yeah, like,
the reason why she's there. I mean,
I can't imagine it being surprising to anyone. And if it is, holy shit, you need to start paying attention to movies. And it's bad.
and like, at the end when they're all happy together and like Eric and Sarah, they're kissing or whatever, then we get this Nick Frost and this useless character, they kiss, and like, even though they had like 2 scenes together, one was about being thirsty and the other one was about flowers.
Fucking the Snow Queen hugs her sister and, you know, freezes her, and Ravina, you know, kills the Snow Queen, and then it's the epic battle between Huntsman and Ravina that lasts 2 minutes at most. 2 minutes at most. And he fucking throws his tomahawk. Is that what it was? The tomahawk?
Yeah, tomahawk at like the mirror.
At the mirror, and it shatters, and then she dies. She turns into like this gold shit, and she like explodes and crumbles, and she's dead. Problem is, at the end of the movie, there's a fucking gold eagle to make you think, oh, maybe she's not dead, because nobody in this movie ever stays dead.
Nope.
All's well, it ends well. They're all happy. Fucking Eric and Sarah are kissing. the dwarves are kissing, and then the useless dwarves are kissing without any chemistry, and it's like, oh, that's so cute. It's because there's 3 and 3. They had to get together at the end because there's no other way. That the writers knew what to do with these fucking characters. They just knew, oh, they have to get together at the end. They just didn't know what to do with these characters, and it sucks